Start streaming. I might have to turn it down a little more in game because it's kind of loud, and I only have one good ear, so.
Yeah, our audio is always a little bit high, but there's a lot more control over the different audio settings.
Mm-hmm. There we go. That sounds pretty good. Make sure the stream is muted. Good afternoon, Internet. We are back. It seems like only a few moments ago I was here playing League of Legends. And we had a very special guest in Tutor from Gamer Sensei. And now we have another special guest because I always bring the hotness. I have Brian Waggoner from Gazillion from Marvel Heroes.
Hello.
Yes, hello! I was so glad to see Marvel Heroes come to console because I am a big console guy. I prefer PS4, so I was glad PS4 came first because it is the better console. It is absolutely the better console. But it's also on Xbox One now as well, I believe, or is on the way.
I'm sorry, you cut out.
Ah, that's weird. It's also on Xbox One now, right?
Yes, a week, right?
Sounds about right.
30th was launch date. Yep.
Yeah, so... Yeah,
Sounds about right. I knew it was something like
so
that.
Xbox One, and in full release, and we added an update to PS4 to bring it out of beta. So we are officially live on 4 platforms. We have Mac, PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Is it coming to the Switch also? I figure if they're getting Skyrim...
Yeah.
Oh, that made me so angry. Brian, your volume is a little quiet, apparently.
You said low?
Yeah, a little low. It's fine for me, but I guess it's not fine for the stream, so...
Okay.
So if you want to turn up just a little bit...
Hopefully this is better.
It's a little louder. Now? That's pretty good. I think it's good. Is that better for you guys?
I can tune it up more.
I'll make sure I don't mumble, because I do that.
But yes, the only thing that has slowed me down playing on console, because I love the... I like the UI more, and I like the controls more. The only thing that has really slowed me down is I have Cosmic Prestige Cyclops on PC.
Okay.
And I really don't want to do it again. So I've been mostly playing people that I don't already have to 60 and don't have Prestige on, which is becoming a smaller and smaller number. So I'm playing Moon Knight today because I think he's such an interesting character.
Yeah, he flies under the radar. You know what I mean? He's not one of the big A-listers that everybody knows about, but he's a really interesting character and has some really fun gameplay.
It's probably because he's not on too many teams, and like his solo, I don't think he's had too many solo books. Like he was with, I want to say he was with Spirits of Vengeance a long time ago. I feel like that was also a Moon Knight book, but it's been a while. But I wanted to give him a try because I really feel like he needs more attention. His kid is good, like he's great as an in-game character.
Yeah,
but
when we were selecting what heroes to launch, we wanted to pick, a very focused group. We knew we didn't have time to get all 62 out.
Yeah.
You also, like, when you're launching into a new market, you also don't really want to do that either, because it can just...
You want to get people... You also want to get characters that people are going to be interested in right off the bat.
Well, that, and, we wanted to make sure that, we could focus on a core set and make sure that the controls feel great, and their abilities feel great, and their talents feel great.
And they do. Oh, man, I love the controls.
Yeah, it's a lot more work than you would imagine to bring a PC game to console. Everyone, people will say, "Oh, it's just a port."
No.
So much of this game was rebuilt from the ground up to be better and work better.
I noticed immediately because I've played Marvel Heroes since well before the 2016 rebrand. Because I think I've done our only reviews of the game on MMOHuts. I think I'm responsible for most, if not all, of the updates for the reviews for it. It's like I did a review for Black Bolt. I started doing like character write-ups too. I want to say I started that with Beast. Okay. But yeah, it's there's a lot of stuff that's different. Like the UI is completely different, and I actually kind of like the UI for console more.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's definitely new. It's tiny, right? We knew that, you know, because you don't have the same controls that you do on PC, that the UI had to flow very, very differently, and so that's why, as you're showing on the stream, the inventory is radial, and there's far more menus that you can use the D-pad to go up and down. Because nobody loves using, a thumbstick as a kind of a fake mouse. So
no, oh god, no.
It felt snappy and it was quick, and you didn't feel encumbered by it. And I think we did a really good job of that.
And I'm sure if you really wanted, you could have used on the PS4. You could have used the touchpad as a mouse, but that would have probably, arguably, been even worse than a mouse.
Well, an important thing for us to think of when we're talking about features like that is we want to make sure that it works great for all platforms. And so, the PS4 has a touchpad, and that's great, but there isn't a similar option for Xbox that way.
Right.
So anything that we add feature-wise, we want to make sure works great on both platforms.
Yeah, definitely. But before we talk about controls and stuff, again, was there ever any talk of like porting characters over, like porting like skins levels over? Because I know like this is a lot of the people who play now are probably fairly new to the game, and I could see where it might be it might feel unfair that on like day one, oh hey, that guy's got Cosmic Prestige Wolverine. That's kind of lame. But
yeah, that's a question that we got a lot when we announced. And I mean, the reality of that is the content differences between console and PC just don't reconcile, right? So itemization is completely different on console. Content, the different modes that we have is completely different on console. We don't have things like uniques. Some artifacts on PC aren't on console. There's many different things that shouldn't transfer that way. And so finding a way to reconcile that with the launch version of the game was going to be an impossible task at the beginning. So, we said, this is a game, it's a free-to-play game. We feel very strongly in the gameplay of it, and want people to experience that. Yes, what you said is also a very big and important part of that is, we didn't want certain people to feel like they had an advantage over others when they started.
Yeah, definitely.
We wanted everybody to start from the same thing. The other piece is, let's say I have the Cosmic 60 on PC, and I would transfer it over to console. What would I do?
Yeah, now there's nothing left to explore. Yeah, I could definitely get that.
So, yeah, I mean, it was a tough decision. We really appreciate our PC fans' support. But, I think because we treat these two games very, like, they're essentially different products because they are.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough decision.
And so, we really wanted people to experience the game fresh, even though, there is a lot of time and effort that you spend on your PC account, but that's still there. It's still there on PC. So
it's still waiting for you. I was a little disappointed, I'm not gonna lie, because I have a lot of really cool skins and tons of storage space. So I was a little disappointed, but I really like playing on console. I think it's, for me, because I have a desk that's not very comfortable. So, like, my wrists will hurt after playing for a little while. Being able to play on a controller, not such a...
I used to do everything on PC, and I was, PC gaming for everything. And as I'm getting older,
controllers are really nice.
Sit on the couch and not at a desk, hunched over. And I'm 6'7", so there are
good lord,
0 desks that are comfortable for me to sit at for a long period of time. So, being able to, go in the bedroom and play on my TV there, or
yeah, definitely,
is a lot better.
I don't know what the GGG route is. Septic flesh, I'm afraid. I've tried using controller on PC for Marvel Heroes, but it didn't really click with me quite as well. It didn't feel the same. And I use a PS4 controller, and Steam doesn't really like PS4 controllers as much. Some games it works fine, some games it doesn't. I like that on PS4 it's native. I don't have to do any fiddling or messing about.
Yeah, our controller support on PC is really good, and there's a lot of people that like it, but at the same time, it's controller support to use the PC interface.
Yeah.
Which is, it's always been designed for mouse and keyboard, which is why that one has 2 modifier buttons, where on console there's only 1. And you can also bind different keys to different things. You have a lot more flexibility and freedom that way. But that's why it took a lot of review and testing and just playing the game to finally settle on what our final controller mapping was going to be. And there was a lot of input because everybody has different opinions and thinks different things are important. And
for sure.
It was interesting. It was interesting to do that, but I think we really landed in the right area.
Yeah, that's one of the big things, is I like that it's I don't have to, all the buttons make sense. I'm not trying to bind PC stuff for a controller, because if I'm at my desk, I'm going to use keyboard and mouse for most things, because that's what you do at a computer.
Right.
But I don't suppose... Oh, Synergy System's unlocked finally. Huzzah! I sidetracked myself. Speaking of the Synergy System, why did Cyclops lose the XP bonus on console?
Yeah, that's a great question. Over time on PC, we had added things, and we had made choices that when we were starting again fresh, we wanted to kind of rein things in, whether it was power creep, whether it was the amount of experience bonus you get from different innate ways in the game, and so we took a look at a lot of things, and we said retention is very important to us, and making sure that we keep innate experience gain at a reasonable level, right?
Yeah.
Not to the point where you can just kind of chew through the game in an hour or something like that.
Yeah, it makes sense, but it kind of made me sad at the same time. I think it's a better change for him, though.
I think it's also about choice too. It was one of those kinds of synergies where I feel like it was like a must-have.
Yeah, you kind of have to have it to be if you want to be efficient.
Yeah, and that's again, this is an MMO, right? So it's a lot of fun, and we can always change things as we go.
Oh, absolutely. But there are a lot of little things that are different on the PS4 version. Like, even... Let me pull up my menu. Inventory. Like, even, like, supplies. I have to hit the right button. Like, the crafting items are a lot different.
Yeah, the entire crafting system is very different than it is on PC. That's again one of those systems where we looked at it and we said, the system hasn't changed that much since the game launched 4 years ago, and we don't want to launch a system that feels like it's 4 years old, right? because the new audience isn't going to be like, oh, it's okay that they did that. It's the same way that it is on PC, because they don't care about that.
No, they're going to want something new.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's something that we focused on really hard, which is make it feel fresh, make it feel new, make it feel relevant. And I think we did a really good job with it. You know, I think it can be fairly overwhelming at first, but we've added some really great tutorials in there.
Oh, the tutorial's way better now.
Yeah, it's funny because most of the people that I talk to who are like, I don't understand how crafting works, and I say, okay, what questions do you have on it? And they say, well, on PC it does this, and I said, you must unlearn what you have learned. It's different now, and you have to kind of like take your time and step through it and read the different items and look at the recipes and things like that. And it's a brand new system, and after that they're like, oh, okay, it makes sense.
But is there any chance of that system coming to PC?
There's always a chance, right? We can do anything.
That is true.
I was saying this to somebody else yesterday. That is probably the number one question as a designer that I get from PC players seeing things on console and saying, when is X console feature coming to PC?
Mm-hmm.
From console players seeing something on PC and saying, when is that coming to console? And the answer is when we think it's a good idea. So the reason why we didn't just say, okay, we made this brand new fancy crafting system, let's bring it over to PC as well, is one thing, on console, everybody's starting new.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about 4 years of legacy data or rare recipes that people spend a lot of time farming for, rare items that they've crafted, things like that. You always, you don't want to validate that. And since the crafting system is a very major change, we knew that when or if we decide to bring that over to PC, we'll have to do a lot of work to make sure that the transition is done well. Data is not lost. Players don't feel like they're losing a whole bunch of time and effort that they spent getting different pieces of it. So, and that's a major thing with bringing console features that were designed for starting fresh and bringing them over. Some things like that, some things are, make sense. The new damage keywords that we have, those would not be that difficult to bring over.
Yeah.
Itemization is going to be very difficult because PC itemization and console itemization are, while you're like, oh, here's a green Iron Man helmet, I have green helmets on PC. Because of the keywording system and because of other changes that we made, very, very different.
Gotcha. John Doe says, can't wait till the release of Nightcrawler, Elektra, and Black Cat. Meh.
Very soon.
Meh.
Very soon.
There are other characters I would rather see, but I am an old man with a lot of comic book tastes. I want to see, personally, while we're on the topic of modern stuff, because you guys do a lot of stuff with the MCU now, which I like. I've been looking towards Infinity War, and I'm not going to lie, I really want to see Adam Warlock playable. I want to see a fight with the Magus, or Thanos.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
It really would. I've recently, well, not recently, I've always been sort of a big fan of the cosmic characters, like some of Galactus's heralds have been ridiculous. I want to say the Human Torch has been one, and Spider-Man, and Wolverine, and the Hulk. It does look a lot like Ultimate Alliance.
If you played through Chapter 10 on PC,
mm-hmm.
and you see the cinematic at the end there, there's a chance that
it could happen.
That Thanos might make an appearance at some time. But
I feel like he kind of has to.
Yeah, we've been building up story-wise to him for a long time, so I'm sure he'll poke his head in at some point.
Like, there are characters I'd like to see, but I can imagine they'd be very, very difficult to add. Like, the Gladiator, for example, who's all but invulnerable unless his self-esteem is put into question. Which is such a weird power, but he's so cool.
Yeah, we have what I tend to call an embarrassment of riches with this IP.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, we are not wanting for great ideas, because there's so many characters and so many storylines and, you know, different versions of characters. You know, there's about 558 different incarnations of Spider-Man.
God, I know it.
You know, and everybody has their favorite, and because there's so many, everybody has their special niche and their special hero that they love.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you know, Spider-Man is very popular. Of course, Deadpool's very popular. Iron Man is very popular. But the audience is so wide for this IP that, you know, you get some people who are like, I love X obscure X-Men who was in 4 episodes.
Like Forge.
You know, yeah, and you're like, okay, that's great. And, you know, and we try to see what we can do with that. Sometimes, you know, it's not enough for them to be playable. Sometimes it's, you know, they're really great as a team up. But we do what we can to take those really great characters with great story and great abilities and bring them in however we can.
Speaking of characters, though, I have a feeling, Druvlum, that DC characters are not going to guest in Marvel Heroes Omega, and also Hello Bafnaf. I have a feeling that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe assumption, I think.
Speaking of characters, though, one of the things I noticed about console that I really like, if I had, you know, friends that lived a little closer, is that it has couch co-op, and I think that is wonderful. But is that why there are no, like, I haven't seen team-ups on PC yet?
That is not why, but that raises a really good point. Sure, though it kind of occupies the same space, right? But it also doesn't, because some people play solo, right? And they don't have a buddy to play couch co-op. So we didn't, like, that was actually one of the first ideas that we brought up, was because we knew we wanted to make couch co-op for the game, because this game really lends itself to that. And we say, well, should it be team-ups that they have that you can play, you know, as the team-up? And we said, you know, because then they feel kind of limited because they don't have the same power sets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where, as we were looking through features and scope, that we just said, you know, there are some things that we want to take our time and do right. So team ups is one of those. We haven't made a full decision yet on whether they're coming to console or not. But
okay.
We're really taking a look. Like, this is another thing that we really broke down to bare bones, and we said, what would team-ups look like on console? What do people love about them? What do we love about them? But also, what is problematic about them? And trying to, you know, because we have a chance to do a fresh start with it, you know, we want to do it in a way that fits well on console, and fulfills the expectation, the player expectation of it. Like, it's very, like, the number one thing is players want to feel. They want to have a thematic duo, right? You're playing as War Machine, you want to have Iron Man with you.
Or Rescue, or whomever.
Exactly. You know,
because I spent a lot of time playing as Cyclops and Havoc, or Cyclops and Magic.
Yeah, and like we were talking about before, I mean, there's a lot of different options that we have where we can add those into player powers, but, you know, sometimes we don't. Like, Rocket has Groot, and that's built into his kit because those guys are like peanut butter and jelly. But, you know, what if Star-Lord wants to run with Groot, or wants to run with Gamora, or something like that? And so you want to give as much flexibility as you can.
Yeah, it makes sense. And Druvlum, Squirrel Girl, not only is Squirrel Girl in the game, but she is so powerful. Squirrel Girl is so strong. She is so good. If you don't play Squirrel Girl, I don't know what you're doing wrong.
She's one of the only characters in the Marvel Universe that has successfully taken down Doctor Doom.
Yeah, she's beat Doom, she's beat Thanos. Yeah. She has an incredibly ridiculous power, and I think it's so good. Oh, I'm playing someone's favorite character. That's cool.
Squirrels.
Yeah. Do you really have to say anything more than that?
That's right.
But yeah, I love Squirrel Girl. She's such a great character. Though my favorite version of Spider-Man is actually already in the game, and that is Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I like Doc Ock, and I liked that whole story. I was so glad to see that was a costume. I'm in the minority because I don't like Spider-Gwen. I think it's dumb, and I think it's... it's so quirky.
That's alright. I mean, different things. You know, we know that not everybody's going to like the same thing, and so we...
Oh, for sure.
We try to pick from all areas as much as we can to bring things in.
Do you have when you guys are developing characters, because we've had a couple of interesting characters lately. We've had Nick Fury, there was Black Bolt, McCoy the Beast. Do you guys worry about picking characters that are not fan favorites, or that are, say, not in the MCU or not in the current storylines? Like, say, older characters that might not be super well-known or super popular. Is that ever a fear, or... I don't really know what goes into the process.
Not really, because we don't, like... I don't want to say that we don't take that into account when we select heroes, but the main thing that we focus on when we select a hero is, do we have a good idea for how to make their gameplay feel compelling, right? Like there are a lot of popular characters out there, but that just being a popular character or having great storyline or
isn't
having them
enough.
have really cool quirks doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to be fun to play.
Yeah.
So, you know, we always, you know, it's very important that gameplay is a main focus when we're designing these things. So, you know, we come to the table and we say, what can we do with it? We throw ideas and see what sticks.
Oh, it's a dupe.
So it's of course it's important that we want to hit and tie in with a lot of the different, whether it's comic events, whether it's MCU events, whether it's Marvel Television or Netflix or events like that. But we're not going to just put like somebody in just for the sake of putting them in, right?
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure that they feel distinctive and you have fun with them, and you know, it's a great experience. We have a lot of good options for characters that, you know, Jessica Jones is the one that I always go back to. Jessica Jones is a really great character, and she is a very interesting character. She has great storylines. Her Netflix show is fantastic.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Her power set is kind of
lackluster.
Like, she's strong. She can jump. In the comics, she can kind of fly. but that's like, it's not.
It's not enough. Yeah.
To really make her feel like the question that I always ask is, what would her ultimate be? And in that case, you're like, she drinks a lot. Right? So yeah, like, she was a great idea. She's a great pick for a team up. She's great to have next to you, you know, with great dialogue and great quips, and you know, she can pick up parts of the ground and throw it at people and pick up cars and stuff like that.
Yeah, but what do you do after that?
Yeah, so and she works really well as a summon for Luke Cage, but you know, it's not to say that she wouldn't ever be a playable. It's just one of those things where we want to make sure that we have a really great idea.
She doesn't. You don't want her to. You don't want her to feel like someone else, like another Daredevil.
Yeah.
Or like another Luke Cage.
Yeah, and it gets harder and harder, right? Because we have 62 playables on PC.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get to, that's more than I think any other ARPG I know.
Yeah, I can't think of any that have more.
Even some MOBAs, right? Like we have more heroes than a lot of MOBAs, which that's their thing. And so it gets tough for us to figure some of those things out. But yeah, we're always gonna want to go with ones that we think are gonna be fun to play and compelling, because otherwise, it might be cool. You don't want fans you don't want Jessica Jones fans to be like, awesome, Jessica Jones, I'm going to be able to play with her, and then they log in and they're just like, this isn't very fun.
Because this
right?
sucks.
Yeah, because then they're going to not only feel like kind of cheated a little bit, but then they're going to feel let down, and they're really looking forward to it. So we take a lot of that. We take those expectations very seriously whenever we're selecting someone. Beast had been a huge request from players for a long time, and it was almost a little intimidating, right? Like where we're like, boy, we really got to do a good job.
You got to do it right.
And the design was really great, and he's really fun to play. His ultimate is one of the most visually amazing things that we've ever put in the game, and his dialogue and his interactions are really good.
I only had one real complaint about Beast, at least at the outset. It just felt like it was really hard to build up his meter for abilities, but other than that, I loved him. I thought he was spot on.
Yeah, and that's a great thing about being an MMO, right? Is we are always listening to feedback about those things, and we can update and we can change them. Because even, let's say we release a hero tomorrow, and we're like, this is a really great design, and it's really fun. Let's just say 5 years from now, we're gonna say, well, it feels antiquated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we're always looking at heroes that we have. The great thing for us is we're constantly getting new tech. So talents are a new thing, and so we're always looking for ways that we can change a character's playstyle with talents, and we're talents, whatever the next talent system is for us. What I mean whatever the next really cool big tech system is that we get for it, we're going to want to go through and say, oh man, this will work really great for so and so, and we'll want to update that, and I think that's one of the real strengths of our game.
Druvlum, I don't think Sentry's gonna come in anytime soon. He's kind of ridiculously powerful, but Druvlum also wanted a Sentry-based mission. But Ite had a question that I wanted to talk about. Asked how I got this skin for Moon Knight, which is one of the Mr. Knight skins, the one without the jacket.
Yeah.
It's very cool, and I got it from something they do different on console. I'll go to the store to show you what I mean. Is they have loot boxes which are not on console, and I will buy one real quick so you guys can see what it is. I have a few credits left, so I'm gonna get one real quick. And let me go to my inventory, delivery, grab it. And you can get skins in them, or I assume you can get characters in them too, crafting items, stuff like that. Like buff potions. Okay, boxes. Wow, I've got a lot of boxes right now.
There's a decent variety of stuff in there, yeah.
Like, let's pop one of these open.
Okay.
Real quick. Eternity Splinters, you use those to unlock characters. Marvelous Essence for chance packs. I love that you can get easier access to those. I love the fortune cards.
Yeah.
XP boost, genomes, Matrix of Unbinding. I really like these boxes, and that was one of the things I was going to ask is, will this come to PC like the loot boxes? I don't know if that's something you guys have talked about, or...
We have. So this version, I don't know, right? Our monetization on PC is very different than it is on console,
mm-hmm.
And so you know, we're always looking for different ways to bring things to players that they're willing to purchase, and they get excited to purchase. Um, you know, this system is it's kind of a mishmash between what we have on PC, where we have a fortune card that you can buy, and when you use that fortune card, it's around $1 or so, and it gives you one thing out of a list of whatever. And then we have mystery boxes, which gives you multiple things, but it always gives you a guaranteed random hero and random costume. So this is in between that price point, and it is look at you, you got a duplicate costume. It's in between those two, and we think it fits really good.
Ooh,
right
cosmics.
Yeah. So yeah, they're really popular on console. Players are really liking them, but we're always looking for ways to improve them. That's actually my number one job right now is is gathering feedback from players on this, making them an even better experience. The flow that you just showed, where you go to the store, you go to the loot box tab, you go to the window where you pick the one you want, you purchase it, you have to back out of the store, you have to go to your inventory, you have to go to deliver. You know, it's like there's so many different steps in there. A big thing that we're working on right now is once you buy those from the store, you open them right there. So it's, you know, it's that instant gratification, and you know.
Oh, that'll be much better.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we're constantly looking for improvements to that in the store, and making things a lot more user friendly. And we have so many costumes that we've already had on PC for a long time that we want to bring to console, and finding thematic boxes that we can bring them to is very important. So we're always going to have one, that Marvelous Loot box that is kind of evergreen. We'll update it probably every quarter or so, and rotate some costumes in, rotate some costumes out. And then we always want to have like one of the kind of more short-term thematic boxes, like the Spider-Man one. So it's relevant to something that's going on right now, or it's thematically based around something. The next one that'll be coming after Spider-Man is Women of Power. And
so, nice.
It's gonna take a lot of our really great costumes for female characters, like Jane Foster Thor and some other things, and we're also going to add in, bring a very popular costume from PC in with Captain America: American Dream. So it's, you know, it's building these boxes thematically around things like that. I think we'll get players really excited.
All right. We are running out of time, which is unfortunate, but I know you've got important things to do. If anyone else has any quick questions, feel free to get them out. And if not, is there anything upcoming that you can sort of spoil for us? And by them, I mean me. I want spoilers.
Sure. Yeah, kind of. You know, we have Black Hat coming out this month on console. We have Carnage coming out this month on PC.
Oh, is it playable?
Yes.
Oh,
playable.
Thank goodness.
And we just released Spider-Man Homecoming content onto PC, and it'll be coming to console later this month. Where it takes you to a very iconic location in the Marvel Universe, which is Daily Bugle.
Oh, sweet.
And the Sinister Six have taken over the Daily Bugle, and you fight your way through different floors of the Daily Bugle, going from like the newsroom to the printing floor and the research. It's done really well, and then it culminates at the end on the roof, and you take on Vulture, who's as anybody who's watched television in the past 6 months knows is the villain in the film.
Oh, Michael Keaton is such a good Vulture.
Yeah. All those things are you know, short term, coming soon, and we're also, you know, we're really excited to talk about Nightcrawler is one of our next heroes that we want to release on console, and Elektra as well. Those two are the next two that are going to be coming, and so we know a lot of people are really excited. Nightcrawler's super he's just by far and away one of the most loved X-Men, and one of the most requested that we've had so far. And you know, we said to ourselves, we really got to get Nightcrawler in, but we also wanted to take some time to make sure that he's one of those that, because he's so focused around teleporting, it's got to feel right. It's got to feel really great on a controller.
Oh, for sure.
So we want to take some extra time to polish that. So yeah, him and Elektra. She's going to have a big part in the Defender series that's coming to Netflix in August. And then we have ideas on other stuff that's coming, but we're going to keep those plans a little close to the vest for now.
Okay, one last thing. The Unfortunate Truth asks, they asked if you'll be focusing on updating PC now the console is out, and when is the next event? They missed the last one and they want to get in on it.
The next
like,
PC event?
Yeah, probably the next big PC event. Like, because we just had the anniversary one, which was amazing.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, not to sound too robotic, but I mean, we're of course committed to keeping the PC game up to date. I mean, we just released this big Spider-Man Homecoming release last week with the new terminal. Carnage is coming. We talked a little bit about some future plans yesterday. We're working on Spider-Woman, and we had a roadmap earlier this year. We talked about things like an Apocalypse playable content and some Thor content and things like that. So yeah, I mean, we of course we're going to keep the PC game up to date and be bringing new things to it. That's super important to us. The next big event, that's a really good question. So right now, since we just released the Daily Bugle terminal and Spider-Man Fortune card and the new costumes that came with that, we have an event going on that has an XP bonus for Spider-Man and Iron Man, and so that'll be running. It's been running for the past week, and it'll continue to run for I think another week or so, and then we'll probably slip into our normal kind of rotating schedule a little bit. We always like to touch point with different Netflix releases, and we've done that in the past. And, I think it's probably a safe bet that we'll have something around the time of the Defenders. But yeah, TBD on that. Just always.
Just keep an eye. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think one thing that might be also worth pointing out too is just like most free-to-play online games that are on PC but also console, players can in general expect to see new stuff hitting first for PC and following on the console.
Oh, for sure.
Spider-Man Homecoming content, perfect example of that. So.
All right, I believe that is all we have time for. If I missed a question, my apologies. But it's been a pleasure. Like I've been wanting to talk to some of the designers for Marvel for a long time. 'Cause I'm a longtime fan. I'm a big Marvel fan. I've loved the game. It's a great action RPG. And we will probably be playing more of it on here and on my personal stream, our personal stream, The Bottom Tier. Where can people go if they want to keep up with your musings about the game and otherwise, Brian?
Our official Twitter is at Marvel Heroes. That's where we keep players up to date on new stuff and existing things that are on PC and console. My personal Twitter is at Asros, ASROS. I talk, a lot, as much as I can about things that are coming, and
as much as I let them.
That's right.
Fair enough.
About things that we're working on. I like to keep people. I'm a huge student of game design and the process, and so I like to talk game design and with not only just players but other people who are interested in that as well. So always willing to talk about things and to solicit feedback and to hear all the cool stories about people playing the game and cool things that they do.
Also, special thanks to Tyler, because PR people do not get enough credit for answering emails at like 2 in the morning about ridiculous, weird shit that press have to ask about. PR people do not get enough credit for the hard work they do.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Not a problem. It's as always, it's been a pleasure. Do stay tuned to Marvel Heroes Omega for more awesome content, as well as MMOHuts.com. You know the deal. I've already done one of these streams today. I have been Jason. I've been joined by... Yes, absolutely. I've been joined by Brian Waggoner and Tyler from Gazillion from Marvel Heroes. I have been Jason. My bosses are probably not listening, so I don't have to plug all the usual stuff. But you know, MMOHuts.com, good stuff. Lots of videos, lots of reviews. Check them out. Most of them are by me. And as always, we will see you guys next time right here on MMOHuts.